them right off and then say there's something wrong with feminism because our feminist leaders have failed us. We forget the difference between feminism and professional feminists. I openly embrace the label of bad feminist. I do so because I am flawed and human. I am not terribly well versed in feminist history. I am not as well read in key feminist texts as I would like to be. I have certain interests and personality traits and opinions that may not fall in line with mainstream feminism, but I am still a feminist. I cannot tell you how freeing it has been to accept this about myself. I embrace the label of bad feminist because I am human. I am messy. I'm not trying to be an example. I am not trying to be perfect. I am not trying to say I have all the answers. I am not trying to say I'm right. I am just trying to support what I believe in, trying to do some good in this world, trying to make some noise with my writing while also being myself. A woman who loves pink and likes to get freaky and sometimes dances her ass off to music she knows is terrible for women, and who sometimes plays dumb with repairmen because it's just easier to let them feel macho than it is to stand on the moral high ground. I am a bad feminist because I never want to be placed on a feminist pedestal. People who are placed on pedestals are expected to pose perfectly. Then they get knocked off when they fuck it up. I regularly fuck it up. Consider me already knocked off. When I was younger, I disavowed feminism with alarming frequency. I understand why women still fall over themselves to disavow feminism, to distance themselves. I disavowed feminism because when I was called a feminist, the label felt like an insult. In fact, it was generally intended as such. When I was called a feminist, during those days, my first thought was, but I willingly give blowjobs. I had it in my head that I could not be both a feminist and be sexually open. I had lots of strange things in my head during my teens and 20s. I disavowed feminism because I had no rational understanding of the movement. I was called a feminist, and what I heard was, "You are an angry, sex-hating, man-hating, victim lady person." This caricature is how feminists have been warped by the people who fear feminism most. The same people who have the most to lose when feminism succeeds. Anytime I remember how I once disavowed feminism, I am ashamed of my ignorance. I am ashamed of my fear because mostly the disavowal was grounded in the fear that I would be ostracized, that I would be seen as a troublemaker, that I would never be accepted by the mainstream. I get angry when women disavow feminism and shun the feminist label, but say they support all the advances born of feminism, because I see a disconnect that does not need to be there. I get angry, but I understand, and hope someday we will live in a culture where we don't need to distance ourselves from the feminist label, where the label doesn't make us afraid of being alone, of being too different, of wanting too much. I try to keep my feminism simple. I know feminism is complex and evolving and flawed. I know feminism will not and cannot fix everything. I believe in equal opportunities for women and men. I believe in women having reproductive freedom and affordable and unfettered access to the health care they need. I believe women should be paid as much as men for doing the same work. Feminism is a choice, and if a woman does not want to be a feminist, that is her right, but it is still my responsibility to fight for her rights. I believe feminism is grounded in supporting the choices of women, even if we wouldn't make certain choices for ourselves. I believe women, not just in the United States but throughout the world, deserve equality and freedom, but no, I am in no position to tell women of other cultures what that equality